Giờ đây, ngay cả khi trong nước, chúng ta vẫn có thể tiếp xúc được với những nền văn hóa khác mà không cần phải ra nước ngoài. Bởi lẽ, ngày càng có nhiều người ngoại quốc chọn Việt Nam là điểm dừng chân của họ. Hôm nay, tôi muốn giới thiệu một vị khách đặc biệt, người đã đưa hương vị quen thuộc của Italy đến Việt Nam, ngay giữa lòng thủ đô, đó là Riccardo Papa.
I am Riccardo Papa. I'm Italian. I'm 47 years old. I live in Hanoi, Vietnam, 4 years now. In my life, I did many things, and so here in Vietnam, I'm taking care about an ice cream gelato company. So we make Italian ice cream. But before that, I used to work in different fields, more in the telecommunication and IT work. And for my work, I live of course, in Italy. Then I live in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and in Sweden. Italy. The one I like most is Italy. When you change country, it is very important that you understand the local culture, and every country is different in terms of culture, of feelings, but also is different in terms of services. So there are some countries like the northern country, like the Netherlands where I stay, Belgium, and Sweden, is really nice. The service you get, so everything works. The bus are on time. Everything is clean, but the people are very cold because it's cold weather and the people are very cold. And as an Italian, I am passionate, very hot character, and so I think that country like Vietnam are more similar to my culture, and so I probably like most. But on the other hand, in Vietnam, like in Italy, many things doesn't work. So it's depending on where you are. Important that you adapt, you accept the local culture and tradition. So before coming to Vietnam, I studied the economical situation of Vietnam for 6 months before coming here, and actually I did many trips to Vietnam to understand, to meet people, and I made a picture. When I came here, things actually were a little bit different compared to I studied. We didn't have. I never faced with big difficulties in my business. It's just that what I produce, it's quite new product. It's not a cheap product. It's expensive because it has an expensive cost. So the market is still not really mature enough. It's growing, but it's still not so mature like I thought before. No, on that I don't have any problem. The normal, daily activities, it's I will say that since I'm here in Vietnam, I have more free time. I used to work much more hours in the other countries. There is difference in daily life, of course. It's more about the way also you go to work, and the fact that it's not easy to walk on the street. It's very polluted. But in terms of hours of working, now I also an entrepreneur, so I do a little bit different. The work compares when I was in Italy, that I was a manager in a big company. When you have your own business, you organize your time like you want. So I cannot complain about my working hours. I'm very satisfied with that, and I have more than one activity here in Vietnam, so I have time to dedicate in more than one activity. The Vietnamese, they work enough tough, but not, I mean, like in other countries, their working hours are much more extended.
So
Yeah, I fell in love, and so I started to think about business, and so I studied about what was missing from famous Italian product in Vietnam, and I realized that no one never thought to open an ice cream shop, Italian ice cream, gelato. So that's why I came here to do that, because before I was not doing gelato in Italy. I was managing people. You mean this location in Tonopano or Hanoi?
yes, in Hanoi. This exact location.
Exactly this location.
Yes.
Oh. So I was in Italy, and so I had the idea, we have to open a shop and we have to find a location. And I thought that being something so new was better to open close by the expat area more than full Vietnamese. And so I hire a retail agency, an agent, and they found this location. I had a friend and I asked them to go to visit, and he said it's nice, and then they sent me the video of the location, so I didn't see the location. And I said, okay, let's go, let's start. But at that time, 4 years ago, Ton Van was still not so full of shops and restaurants, still a little bit less, so we were one of the first in this area. Okay, in this moment we have opened one Gelato Italia shop that is here in Ton Van, and then we have partnership with other cafe and restaurants that they sell our ice cream with our brand, and they are more or less 9. Now with the employees I almost never had any problem. With the customers, no, I didn't have problem, but I need to adapt the taste of the ice cream. I need to, because here I have very different customer type. I have foreigners, but the foreigners that come from 140 different nations, so everybody has his own taste. And Vietnamese also have a taste that is very different compared Italians. So I need to adapt my flavors to be more general purpose, but more on the Vietnamese side. So actually, if you try my ice cream, and then if you go in Italy and you try the same, you will see that in Italy it's much more sweet than here, because Vietnamese don't like so much the sweet taste.
Ricardo Baba đã đi qua nhiều quốc gia khác nhau để có những trải nghiệm thú vị. Điều này tạo nên một con người cởi mở, dễ gần, giúp ông có thuận lợi hơn khi đến Việt Nam.
I don't like the way of driving. This things is also on the way of driving. So if a car stops to let someone pass, anyhow many motorbikes will just go in between, and so we will be stuck for 5 minutes with no reason. So that is probably the most things I don't like. Yes, but that I learned already the first time I came for holiday. Yeah. So it's the rule is that you just cross. Even probably you don't need to see, because if you just go on the same speed that you crossed, all people will go around you. But if you run or you stop, then you're in danger.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing.
I drive motorbike, I drive car, so I don't have any problem in driving here. I just complain about the behavior of driving. Okay, in all my life I really moved many times, because my father was in the Navy, so every 3 years since I'm born I had to change my house, because my father had a different working place. So for me it was quite natural to move when I arrived. So I think I learned since I'm a kid that when you change you have to adapt, you have to be open. otherwise you will not have friends. But I think it's easy to live in Vietnam. If you accept, as I say, you have to understand the culture and you have to accept it. Because if you have in mind your own country and you compare all the time and you see the difference and you don't like the difference, then you cannot work. And anyhow, Asia, or you love or you hate. You cannot be in between.
Ông là một người dễ gần, cởi mở và thiện cảm với con người Việt Nam.
No, I didn't have a problem using chopsticks because even in Italy I used to go often to Chinese or to Japanese restaurants, so I had a good training.
You already have a good training. Still speaking about chopstick, the very first time in Italy, the very first time you pick up a pair of chopstick, what did you feel about that?
I felt a little bit difficult in using, but at that time in the restaurants where you go, they used to put the chopstick inside a kind of paper bag, and on the paper bag there were in the instructions, so actually the picture of how you have to keep the chopstick. So with that you now for me it's very normal using it. But I still have some problems, like I cannot take a peanut with a chopstick. Yes, I did 2 years ago. With the shop we are open. The first year I was closed for 9 days. It's long.
Nice.
But now we are open, and it's better to be open because people come. Yeah, the first step I had, the first year I went back to Italy, so I was not here. The second year I was here, and so I was here with some friends, the foreigners, they were still here. And so we stayed together, we went a little bit around. Nothing special, I mean for us nothing special, because it's still for me not really a special holiday, that because I'm more familiar with Christmas.
Yes.
and I mean Western end of the year. But I understand the tradition, and but I didn't have any problem with before coming here. When I studied about the TED, actually was a kind of warning in the sense of way of working, and that the people, that the employees will then disappear, and then you don't know what happened with them after that or whatever. But to be honest, with my staff, I never had problems. And most of my staff, they are from Hanoi, so yes, of course, they have some days of holiday, but they don't go away, so they stay here, and if we need to work, they come. They are very open for that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.